They are an accident waiting to happen.
Stephen A, hush your mouth, talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D, Texas where we stay at. Me inside an order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and nah, we don't play that. Work, this is Cowboy Nation. Work, welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work, y'all can keep on hating.
Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. It is another week of Dallas Cowboys football, and we're going to start to get into this week's game against the Chicago Bears. Today, we are going to be discussing what the defense needs to do to bounce back from a horrible performance last week and play much better against the Chicago Bears. Before we get into that, I just got a little bit of, maintenance to do right around here. I need to ask everybody, if you're watching this, or maybe you don't do it now because you don't know if you're going to like it or not, but if you like what it is that I have to say, I need you to go over to that subscribe button, boom, click it, just boom, just like that, just boom, click it. That's what I need you to do. I need you to click the subscribe button. Let the people over at YouTube know that you like it. Also, turn on your notifications so you'll know when I drop new content. Now, this episode is brought to you by the Car Wreck Attorneys at 1-833-OIM-HIT. That's 1-833-644-6448. If you ever hurt in a car accident and you're in the state of Texas, give the Car Wreck Attorneys at 1-833-OIM-HIT a phone call. Don't be a sucker. Call Glenn Tucker. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what the defense needs to do. Let me start off with something, because this is one of the first opportunities I really had to do what it is that I'm supposed to do, and that is defend the boys. I'm getting ready to defend the boy because a good friend of mine, I'm not even going to lie, I'm actually cooler with his manager. So I'm really cool with Wildhair, who is Bubba Dub's manager. And Bubba Dub, I mean, he jumped on Trayvon Diggs, said he was trash. That's how he said it. I didn't say that. That's how he said it. But after watching the film, I didn't really see Trayvon Diggs as trash. Now, I did see a few mistakes here and there. The first touchdown, that wasn't him. That wasn't Trayvon Diggs. I know what typically ends up happening, right, is you see a long bomb, you see Trayvon Diggs running behind him, you see the guy making an incredible catch, and you say, man, Trayvon Diggs got burnt. Unfortunately, it was not that Trayvon Diggs got burnt as much as our scheme failed us. Now, the good thing is it is a scheme that failed us, and as long as scheme failed us, that means that scheme can be fixed. I am going to choose to believe that Eberflus will fix the scheme. There's a lot of Dallas Cowboys beat writers who feel like Eberflus is too prideful, too stubborn to want to fix a scheme, but I don't feel that way. Number one reason I don't feel that way is because I feel like our head coach wouldn't allow it. I feel like they're going to have a meeting, and he's not going to allow him to just say, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, because that's not working. But from a defense standpoint, there were some issues with the zone. Trayvon Diggs tried to close in, actually got close to being able to even punch the ball out and not allowing a good touchdown. But I don't want to just sit here and act like Trayvon got burnt in that. I believe that was a cover 3, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think that was cover 3. And if you don't believe me, Dez Bryant jumped on Bubba Dub's story and said it. I don't think he said it was cover 3, but he definitely said, hey, that was his own defense. And that wasn't Trayvon Diggs' man. That was Trayvon Diggs trying to prevent a busted coverage. So there you have it. I'm just trying to let you know, because apparently there's people out there who feel like those plays, even Elam on the other side, there were times where, again, safety should have been over the top. And you would see, like Malik Hooker did, play over the top I don't want to continue to say, oh, Donovan Wilson had a bad game. I've said it on a couple of podcasts. Donovan Wilson is a quality player. It's defending the boys. We're not fit to be going after all of our players all the time and talking about how they're horrible, right? He's a quality player. He probably plays downhill better than he plays the deep third. However, he's been a great player for us for a very long time, and we're just not going to keep dogging him like that. So what do the Cowboys need to do in order to stop the Chicago Bears offense this week? And there's a couple of things. First of all, this is not the New York Giants or the Philadelphia Eagles. Now I know what you're saying, like, hey, man, the New York Giants aren't that good. Yeah, Chicago still isn't the New York Giants. The New York Giants have a very good defensive line and a decent offensive line. Not a great offensive line, though, but a decent offensive line. They got pieces of their offensive line, and their offensive line held up for a lot of the game, although we would be able to break through and get some very crucial sacks against them. I don't think the Chicago Bears offensive line is as good as the New York Giants. Again, I'm not saying New York Giants had a great offensive line. I'm simply saying Chicago Bears is worse than that. That means that we have an opportunity to get some sacks. Now we have Jadeveon Clowney. I've already put on there that he's shown some burst. He's shown some speed. You can go back and look at the highlight film that I put up of Clowney. But I don't think we can count on just Clowney. I think what we need to happen is for our edges to be able to step up and start to get pressure other than just him. So I believe that Sam Williams, I personally feel like I can see Sam Williams getting better every week. Maybe not quite where we want him to be, but definitely getting better every week. So if you're getting better every week, then I'm gonna let you go with that, right? I haven't seen Dante Fowler getting better every week, but I've been a proponent of James Houston since we started. Eberflus, I'm gonna make this cry until you start to do it. This plea, until you start to do it, please put James Houston in the game. We need to get to the quarterback, and he's doing it. Against run defense, he's getting tackles for losses. Against passes, he's getting sacks. We need that type of production in the game. Please, Eberflus, put James Houston in the game. Houston on one side, Clowney on the other. Rotate. Start to put Sam Williams in the game. Start to put, obviously Marshawn Nealon is doing well. He's not getting a lot of pressure for the quarterback, but he's playing, good football as a defensive end, especially in the run stopping. I'm not saying take any of those guys out. Donovan Ezeraku needs all the experience that he can get. He's not getting to people yet. We do have a push in the middle with Osa, Kenny, Solomon Thomas. I think we'll have an opportunity this week to really get to the quarterback. Now, that's good and that's bad, okay? My problem is you got to have some gap integrity with Caleb Williams. We saw 2 weeks ago when we played a quarterback that had legs, that those legs could kill us, right? So let's just assume for a minute that first of all, Caleb Williams, matter of fact, before we start assuming stuff, Caleb Williams is not going to make the passes consistently that Russell Wilson made. Not consistently yet. He's not. He's not going to do it. And just like Russell Wilson, if he has to do that 5-10 times a game, he's definitely throwing an interception, right? I don't feel like this is one of those games where the Bears are going to be able to keep up with us the way the Giants did. They're not going to be able to run 37 points right behind our 40 points. I just don't see it. Now, I didn't think the Giants were going to be able to do it either. So I know what you're saying. But this team is not the Giants. Yes, they have Rome Odunze. They have, what's his name? Lee Burton? Luther Burton. That's his name, Luther Burton. They have Luther Burton. They have DJ Moore. They have some decent wide receivers. Their quarterback doesn't have the same protection, and he doesn't have the same arm talent or strength that Russell Wilson has. I mean, he has arm strength, but just the accuracy of the deep ball, the way Russell Wilson has, Caleb Williams doesn't have that. Okay. So let's assume that they aren't able to do that. If you can get to Caleb Williams and have gap integrity and not let him out of the pocket, make him step up right into our defensive tackles, and they're keeping their eye on the ball, able to throw people off and actually get to them, and we're able to get sacks, we're definitely going to be looking at a blowout. Now, I said that last game, I know what you're saying, but we have that opportunity. What could go wrong? The same thing I said last week that could go wrong, right? So last week I said if you leave Russell Wilson back there as an experienced quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, if you leave a Super Bowl winning quarterback back there to play 7-on-7 football, he's going to pick you apart. And that's exactly what they did, and that's exactly what happened. So this week, I feel like our worry is Caleb Williams running, not necessarily him picking you apart the way Russell Wilson did, but more getting out of the pocket, us not having spies, us having slow-footed linebackers who can't keep up with the Caleb Williams, and him being able to take off and get first down after first down after first down, continue to move the ball and the marker, and eventually getting into the end zone. That's a concern of ours for this particular game. And if that happens, I feel like that they'll be able to keep up with us for a while. But we're going to talk tomorrow. Our offense should definitely put up another 40-burger easily. We might keep up with Detroit. We might can put 50 points on them because they're not going to be able to stop our offense either. And I don't see them keeping up with that type of production. I can see them being able to move the ball, being able to do some things. I feel like Eberflus is going to eventually get even that part of it corrected. I think part of this is just some things that I've noticed. Just let me throw this out here. I think part of our lack of pass rush is Eberflus's demand that we do have gap integrity. And so you'll see a lot of time when they're backing up to pass, our defensive ends aren't shooting upfield, which does cause open lanes that running quarterbacks can get off in. They're kind of pushing in, closing the pocket in on the quarterback. And that may be an Eberflus scheme thing. I don't know. But I feel like that is part of it, where they're not trying to allow them to get out of the pocket and kind of make these plays consistently on us. But we got to figure out how to get pressure. We got to figure out how to do it much faster. So that's kind of what my goal would be for the Cowboys for this week. We have to figure out how to get to Caleb Williams without leaving a bunch of gaps and allowing him to run. If we do that, they're going to have some plays that they're not going to be able to run 200 yards on us or anything crazy like that. I think we'll be able to have good run defense against them. Swift is a good running back, but he's not a bell cow between the tackles consistently type of, like he can't handle that type of. Now, what we do have problems with Swift is if we're throwing the screens and the quick passes, swing passes, and we got to rely on our linebackers to go over there and play on that. He could get to moving a little bit. I think he's faster than our linebackers are. So that could be an issue. Can't wait for Overshawn to come back so we won't be able to say that consistently. And if we're playing Maris Leofau, he may be able to do something a little bit better against that as well. But I think that's going to be it. I think if our defense can play with that, I don't even see – most of the time they're throwing the ball. It's not a run-heavy team. I think we'll be able to fix our coverage. I don't see them throwing 5 touchdowns, 450 yards. I just don't see that type of production out of Caleb Williams against this defense the way that Russell will, even if he did have limited pressure. Because I don't want to say that we didn't get any pressure on Russell. We just had limited pressure. And so even with the limited pressure, I don't think that that's the problem. But we are hoping, obviously, Clowney can come in. He can increase the level of sacks that we got. We got 3 sacks last game. As much as we talk about not getting to the quarterback and yada, 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 we got 3 sacks last game. We did get to the quarterback. Now, they came from inside pressure, and we could definitely get more work out of our edges. But we did actually get some sacks. We're looking to try to get more sacks. I mean, 3 sacks a game for 17 games. I mean, it wouldn't look so bad on the stat sheet. So I'm not going to sit here and act like that we can't get any pressure. We just need more consistent pressure. And eventually, obviously, be able to get to the ball. So that's what I have for you today, man. I'm hoping that it is a 40 burger put on the Chicago Bears, and I don't see them being able to score more than 17 points. So that is my prediction. I always give a prediction, 40-17 Cowboys. That's what it is. This is Defending the Boys. I am your boy, I Heard D. Will. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about what the offense needs to do to get that 40 burger. All right? I holla.